By 2035, AI was like mobile phones once were, fully integrated into everyone's lives. Alongside the convenience it brought, it also cut human labor dramatically. Thousands of types of robots replaced people operating production equipment. But by 2039, with the emergence of cognitive processors that improved production efficiency, a large number of people directly lost their jobs. That sparked a nationwide wave of resistance against AI. But protests couldn't stop the tide of technological progress. In the end, countless people had no choice but to risk their lives joining games developed by cognitive systems, used to entertain and gamble for the upper-class elite. To earn income, they traded their lives to please haughty elites. That's how the golden game, gold game, was born. If you could keep winning the survival game, you'd win huge wealth and ultimately gain cognitive authority, making a class leap. Chen Mo stood silently among the murmuring crowd. And I, now, was forced to enter the game too. But unlike them, he had a clear goal. Only by continuously winning could he hope to find her. Old Third beside him couldn't help groaning. He'd heard that dying in this game meant dying in real life. Surely that couldn't be true. Wang Qiang immediately denied it, calling it nonsense. Of course it's true. Haven't you seen losers electrocuted to death by the helmet? Removing the helmet mid-game is a rule violation, and you get electrocuted, there's no escape. Do you think money is easy to come by? You can still quit now if you want. Old Third, face pale and lips trembling, persisted. I was forced into this because of gambling debts to earn money to pay them back. Outside I'd die. There's no way out. Husai loudly bragged nearby. I can't wait any longer. I've heard for a long time that in the game, killing isn't a crime. He scanned the room, sending a message to everyone. Don't die too early. I don't want the game to end so soon. Chen Mo inwardly snorted, joining a game to take killing as entertainment. Of course, there are lunatics everywhere. At that moment, an announcement drew everyone's attention. Welcome to the gold game. Please proceed into the game's instance. At those words, Chen Mo suddenly grew suspicious. This was the first level of the instance, an empty hall. But the screen in front of them quickly shimmered. After a few seconds, Xiao Tu appeared in midair. She beamed like a real host as she introduced herself. Welcome players. I am the referee of this game, Xiao Tu. I'll now explain the game rules. First, this level is the newbie stage. Remember the following rules and you'll successfully clear this level. Saying that, Xiao Tu snapped her fingers. Then she proudly displayed the notice. The number of surviving players reduced to 3 or fewer means the boss is absolutely unbeatable. Xiao Tu cast everyone a meaningful look. After feeling enough time had passed, she asked again. So, is that easy to understand? Needing no answers, Xiao Tu left the high board. Her feet stomped forcefully on the floor. She finished with a standard bow. That concludes the rule explanation. Have fun playing. Before leaving, Xiao Tu added one more line. I hope to have the luck to meet you all again. Hokai scratched his head, puzzled. So that's it? Did anyone understand what that girl said? Ignoring the noisy chatter, Chen Mo sank into his own thoughts. If survivors must be reduced to 3 or fewer, does that mean 7 out of the 10 people here have to die to clear the level? An alarm blared involuntarily in his chest. But how could that be? At the same time, the surrounding space transformed, leaving the whole group stunned. What the hell was that? They stared as a mouth as big as a blood basin turned toward them. Panicked, someone cried, "What's happening? Run, don't just stand there." When the first person was crushed, everyone finally erupted. Run, run fast, don't let this thing wrap around you. The green serpent quickly flashed its tail like a drill bit. Its head was pressing on the people fleeing for their lives. Damn it, how on earth are we supposed to clear this? We can't hide, we can't fight. Are we just supposed to wait to die? Chen Mo, alert, called out a warning. Spread out, don't bunch together. Still, his mind was racing. Damn it. What kind of level is this? Do we really have to let this monster kill 7 people before we can clear it? The green serpent trailed them relentlessly, not a half step behind. This time its target happened to be Chen Mo. Just as the serpent's blood-red tongue closed in on his feet, Chen Mo sharply cut to the side, causing it to snap at empty air. He used a pillar for cover and slipped into the serpent's blind spot, but he didn't dare relax for a second. After killing 2 players, the tail had clearly lengthened, and it could turn at right angles. If he wasn't mistaken, this game itself was basically the famous arcade game Snake. Chen Mo sketched a quick mental map. If it's Snake, the head can only turn 90 degrees, and by staying within a 90-degree arc around the head, say, 45 degrees the head, would need 2 moves to reach a target. But even so, that only bought a little time for temporary survival. The serpent's next destination was where Hosai was hiding. Its slick body slid forward at top speed, making the man curse. What kind of international joke is this? What do you mean absolutely unbeatable? I don't want to die here. Muttering, Hu Chai suddenly widened his eyes. By some occult method, the serpent had curved around to block his path. Holy shit. Hosai instinctively leapt back like a shrimp. That barely saved him from death. Hosai scrambled to his feet, still shaken. Damn it! When did this bastard get in front of me? No sooner had he finished speaking than the serpent reared up right behind him. It coiled itself around the pillar, intent on pinning Ho Chai to the ends of the earth. Damn it, I'm the target. He accelerated like Usain Bolt, while chanting prayers in his heart. No, I must think of something. If this continues, my death is only a matter of time. At that moment, Hosai's eye caught sight of Chen Mo in a peaceful corner. He decided to dash past him with the thought, if my comrade dies, then I survive, so it's you then, you die in my place. But the green serpent's love for Hosai was eternal. Meanwhile, Chen Mo used the time to plan in his head. The developers would never create a pure kill task like this just to eliminate players. He suspected the key information was the second rule. Tanchi, she is absolutely unbeatable, but that doesn't mean Tanchi she can't die. By the rules of the snake game itself, if the snake's head collides with its own body, it dies. All you need to do is stay within the 90-degree arc in front of the head and move around. So for it to bite you, it would need at least 2 moves, and during that time it might have the chance to run into its own body. Having a plan, Chen Mo confidently left his safe spot immediately, no matter what. He couldn't just sit and wait to die. He had to try. Hu Kai, who'd been running like his life depended on it, suddenly appeared behind him. The moment the man grabbed Chen Mo's shoulder, he jolted and shouted, "Oi!" Husai, holding him, whispered in a sneering tone, "Brother, safe travels." Then he hurled him toward the green serpent with a parting remark. "If you go down to the great beyond, don't blame me." Chen Mo's whole body hurtled toward the serpent's maw at top speed. At that hair-raising moment, he couldn't help but question himself. Am I about to die? Chen Mo's memories rewound to scenes with Can. "Big brother, I made this, taste it, and tell me if it's good." He couldn't help mentally exclaiming, "Sister, so when life and death are close at hand, marching band memories really do appear." In his dream, she chattered on, "It's okay, I'm not a child anymore. This little wound is nothing. Eat happily. It was worth it." Jin Can. "You've hardly wasted all those years. From now on, let me take care of your meals." Chen Mo couldn't help reproaching inwardly. "You're hopeless. If you didn't keep your promise to cook for me every day, turns out this was the last meal you cooked for me." His thoughts ran on to the stormy night when a sudden incident shattered all the good things. He'd lost his job as a cognitive researcher and been saddled with a huge debt. While Chen Mo sulked and complained, it was Can who had stepped forward to comfort him. "No, don't say that. You're my brother. How could I abandon you? Don't worry, brother. I'll find a way with the money. I'm not a kid who hides behind you to be protected anymore." Those words had unintentionally spurred Chen Mo. He thought she'd scold him, abandon him, leave him. But she didn't. She entered this damned game for him. At that time, Can was truly determined. Perhaps I can do something. But that decision dragged both her and her brother into the vortex she never returned, and he vowed he would find her. Chen Mo drew ever closer to the green serpent's mouth. His mouth began to spew arterial blood as it bit off half his body. But he kept shouting at the top of his lungs, "I absolutely will not die here." That drive pushed Chen Mo to marshal every ounce of strength to break free from his bonds. And the most horrific scene unfolded. His upper torso truly separated from his lower half. The hollowed-out sensation and the steady wash of blood left Chen Mo reeling. Then, pulled by gravity, he fell straight to the floor. Life ebbed away, and Chen Mo cried out hoarsely, "No, this can't be." His mind now only wanted to scream in defiance. But the screen reflected in his eyes suddenly pulled Chen Mo back. The content on it indeed made even onlookers gasp in horror, revealing the information of Researcher ID 06. The system administrator identity of Chen Mo had been successfully activated. After digesting those lines, Chen Mo asked dazedly, "I'm not dead yet. Where is this?" He gaped in disbelief. "A system, what is this now?" Thinking that, Chen Mo raised his arm and pressed the screen. Mechanical sounds rang continuously through the vast space. Chen Mo looked up as he wondered whether the attribute panel was like allocating points in a game. Suddenly he grinned excitedly. "Great. Then there's hope to turn things around. Just focus on agility to raise speed." Immediately Chen Mo hesitated no longer and reached to press the button. But then he suddenly paused. No, not right. Speeding up and continuing to evade would be pointless. The most important thing now was, Chen Mo redirected and dragged the top bar to strength. The system quickly announced, "Attribute modification successful." Then it spoke again. System notice: you may freely modify and allocate your attributes. Each level up increases all attributes. Confirmed. Chenmo stubbornly thought that with this ability, he could set any attribute to the maximum at any time. As attributes grow with levels, they'd become even stronger. Screw the game's rules. I am the rule. The body sprawled on the ground suddenly flexed its arm muscles as strength increased. The system began to accelerate, restoring the data. A giant green serpent slithered across the cold ground. It screamed, revealing a gaping red maw that emitted an extremely blinding light. At that moment, it suddenly plunged its head down and swallowed Chenmo, shattering the stream of electricity. A spark of smoke flared in the green serpent's eyes. Then it abruptly noticed something and turned its head back. The green serpent stared silently at the scene ahead. A strong arm from within forced its mouth open with all its strength. Blue electrical energy swirled around, throwing everything into chaos. Within minutes, he was fully on his feet, gripping the serpent's slimy tongue tightly. Chenmo quickly grabbed its tongue and pulled it outward. His eyes lit with hatred, and his voice hardened. "You like eating, do you?" He opened his mouth and shouted again. "Come on, let's see who eats whom today." Without hesitation, he bent down and bit hard into the green serpent's tongue. The shock made its body twitch. Then the green serpent gaped wide and immediately spat Chenmo's body out. He flew forward into the space ahead. Finally, Chenmo landed hard, electricity crackling all around him. He exhaled wearily. The people behind watched his appearance in bewilderment. This guy. They gritted their teeth and wondered if he was even human. Chenmo watched the green serpent closely. Did the attack work? He mouthed calculations silently. This at least proved the beast wasn't completely immune to physical attacks. Chenmo calculated carefully. With my current attack power, it's unrealistic to kill it. Strength, agility, intellect, stamina. Even if I sacrifice other attributes to pump strength, it's still hard to confront this beast head-on. At best, I could barely hold out for a short while. So, Chenmo decided to press the button better, to proceed with his prior plan and allocate everything into agility, exploiting the snake game's rules. Chenmo stood completely calm before the green serpent's abyssal maw. He had a plan: make the snake's head attack its own body. At that time, the green serpent, unaware anything was wrong, continued to slither around him. Chenmo moved quickly. In the game's initial setup, if the snake's head touches its body, the game ends. And if he's right, this is its only weak point. He nimbly blinked out of the way, successfully evading each bite from the green serpent. In the cramped space, it kept pursuing, its massive body seemingly sealing off every escape route. After a moment, Chenmo decided to break. The screech of friction across the floor was piercing. His gaze sharpened as he watched. "Come on, let's see if you'll bite yourself." Its pink-red maw pulsed with life, as if ready to swallow Chenmo whole. At that moment, Chenmo dashed off according to his plan. But he suddenly widened his eyes at this. Although the green serpent had bitten his body until it bled, there was no other change-up protective mechanism. Chenmo recalculated. It seems I wasn't wrong. This really is its weakness, except that this weakness has been patched by the system. Seizing the chaos, Chenmo hid behind a massive pillar. He pressed his lips and told himself the sole weakness had been fixed, bringing everything back to square one, but that also indirectly proved the boss's undefeatable nature. Chenmo glanced over and calculated carefully. By now, players naturally trust the rule that if fewer than 3 survive, you can clear the stage, which falls into the trap. Thinking of that, he smirked slight. If they really do that, it'll lead to mutual annihilation, a dead end, which is exactly what the game master wants to see. Suddenly, Chenmo remembered something. If he could disable this beast's protective mechanism, success was guaranteed. He watched cautiously. Someone needed to draw the beast's attention. Then an external force could push the snake's head into its body. Then Chenmo spotted his target, that guy. He pulled his hood up confidently. Good. Now I have support. Meanwhile, from the other side, Old Third called out, "Boss, I don't see that kid anymore." Husai snapped irritably. "Look around carefully." He grumbled instructions. "Listen up. The 3 of us hide here. The rules say if only 3 remain, they can clear the stage. We shouldn't bring disaster on ourselves." Wang Qiang couldn't help but speak. "Boss is wise. I think that kid showed some skill. Maybe he can kill the boss." Hosai replied casually. "If he really can kill it, even better, we'll win easily then." At that moment, Chenmo appeared behind them. "Easy win." He spoke in a low, arrogant tone. "You guys, do you think I don't exist?" After saying that, Chenmo lunged forward swiftly to stand before the 3. He clamped Hosai's throat so fast the man couldn't react. Chenmo warned, "I advise you not to move foolishly. If I slip up, you'll be the one to withdraw early." Hosai trembled in pain. "Buddy, let's talk this out. I admit what I did earlier wasn't right. But in this situation we should stick together, right? With one hand, Chenmo lifted him effortlessly, replying coldly, "I'll kill you, then recruit the others too if needed." The man pleaded in terror. I'm sorry, please spare me." But Old Third wouldn't let go. "Bastard. Let our boss go now." Without mercy, Chenmo flung them aside and snarled, "Get lost." Old Third was punched so hard a large hole appeared in the wall. Hokai trembled as he called, "Old Third." He was furious to the point of gritting his teeth. Damn it. But before long, Chenmo stomped on his head, driving him to the ground. He spoke in a low voice with conditions. "I have a plan. If it succeeds, we can deal with this beast, but we need a bait to draw its attention." Tram Mac smiled suggestively. "Take the risk or die right now, time's running out, so hurry." Husai screamed in pain. I'll do it. He cursed inwardly. Damn it, opportunists prosper. If we get past this, I'll have many chances for revenge. A moment later, Tram Mac stood behind giving orders. "Go. If I see any negligence, I'll not hesitate to kill you first before dealing with the boss." Hosai snorted coldly. "You'd better actually handle this beast, let's go." Wang Qiang ran while arguing. "Boss, do we really have to listen to that kid and act as bait? It feels like 9 times out of 10 we'll die. We already lost a brother. We can't risk it." Hosai suddenly laughed. "Who said I'd go alone?" He then abruptly stepped toward the group hiding in the bushes. With one hand in his pocket acting casual, Hosai ordered, "Hey, you lot. If you don't want to die, lure that beast over to me. I figured out how to deal with it." But none of them trusted him. "No, we can't handle that thing. Exactly, if someone has to go, you go alone. Don't drag us into it." He slapped Tian Quan on the shoulder. "Bro." Without a word, Hosai brutally kicked him aside. The blow doubled Tian Quan over in pain as he clutched his stomach and trembled. Sure enough, the noise immediately drew the green serpent's attention. It slithered over and opened its blazing red maw wide. Finally, it swallowed Tian Quan whole. The breaking army squad recoiled at the sight. "You people." Husai lost patience and shouted, "Have I been too polite to you? Believe me, I'll kill you too." He shoved his hip and barked orders. "Get over here. Now." At that moment, Huchai suddenly grabbed Yu Yuan's pale arm. "Wait." His face darkened, and his voice grew lecherous. "You stay here. What do you want?" "I've been doing what you said." But Hosai didn't answer. He casually squeezed her butt. He tightened his grip and pulled Yu Yuan close, offering her a way to live. "Follow me later. After everyone else is dead, the 3 of us will clear the stage, or..." Saying this, Hosai turned her chin toward the green serpent. "You can go with those useless ones." The breaking army squad had run halfway. Screams kept ringing out. "Damn it. That guy's sending us to our deaths. Once 3 or fewer remain, they survive." She tried to dodge the serpent's strike. "Don't let them gloat. Run." Yu Yuan had no choice and quickly agreed. Yes, boss." Husai's hand continued to grope Yu Yuan. She tried to steady herself. "Just don't kill me, boss. I'll do whatever you want." Wang Qiang hesitated and whispered, "Boss, is this okay?" "They won't hold out much longer." He didn't bother to look and replied calmly, "All the better if they don't die. How can I reduce the number of survivors? I absolutely cannot die. I still want to enjoy life." Hushai scowled as he watched Chenmo across from him. "That brat just humiliated me. He has to be killed." At that moment, Wang Qiang shouted in panic, "Boss, the snake's head is turning toward us." Hosai quickly devised a plan. "Perfect timing. Let's pretend to cooperate with him first, then wait for our chance to strike." With that, the whole group lunged at Chenmo. Hochai feigned panic. "Kid, this beast has been brought to you. What are you going to do now?" Chenmo snorted in disgust inwardly. Zhao really is good at dirty tricks. If there's a chance, it's best to remove this unstable element. Otherwise, problems will likely arise. Chenmo remained still and patiently explained. "Surely you've all played the snake-eating game. If the snake's head pierces its body, the game ends." Gasping for breath, Wang Qiang brightened at once. "Really? Then we still have hope of being saved." Hosai immediately dismissed it. "Nonsense. I just got chased and bitten. It doesn't work. That beast has a protective mechanism. When the head touches the tail, it immediately slips away and never actually contacts." His body was drenched in sweat, as if he'd bathed. Huatai curled his lip in contempt. "Besides, if it were that easy, the kid would have done it long ago." As soon as he arrived, Chenmo angrily kicked him straight in the ass and barked, "Don't talk. Nonsense. Do it." Huatai yelped in pain, clutching his rear as he bolted away. Doing it! Yu Yuan was running out of strength. "I can't take it anymore, boss. Save me." Huatai cried, leaping inward. It's safest there. The three of them jumped together to dodge the green serpent's bite. A second later, the three were safely inside the gap, and the green serpent began to redirect toward Chen Mo. Husai, as if watching a good show, couldn't help but grin with delight. The opportunity has come. Now obey me. Go die. Chen Mo's eyes darkened as blue electricity crackled along his body. As the green serpent lunged at blistering speed, he decisively leapt into the air. Hosai couldn't believe his eyes and shouted, "What is that?" After Chen Mo kicked, the green serpent changed course, making Hu Chai scream, "How can this be?" In an instant, it bit clean through one of his arms. The searing pain shot into Ho Kei's brain, contorting his face. But thanks to his sacrificial act, the green serpent impaled itself on its own body. Its fangs sank in with crackling sparks of electricity. Then the serpent's body was severed by its own force. Wang Qiang sprinted over first and asked, "Boss, are you okay?" Ho Chai, still raging, muttered, "Damnable, damnable." He clutched the hollow stump of his limb and howled, "Kid, don't think this is over. I'll remember this debt." But Chen Mo had no time for him. As the system popped up a notification, the player has injured the boss in the Serpent Encirclement 4 dungeon, completing the hidden achievement, Snake Hunter. Level increased to 3 and received 6 free allocation points. Reading it, he was stunned, injured. That last blow should have killed the Tanchi Shi. Why is it only wounded? Chen Mo looked at the serpent's severed body writhing and made a bold conjecture. Could it be that this beast is still not dead? Xiao Tu, who had appeared without anyone noticing, was clapping loudly. She stepped closer in high spirits and announced, "Congratulations everyone on completing this dungeon. Surviving players receive experience and corresponding cash rewards, plus 3 attribute points to freely allocate. The MVP player receives an extra spin. Payment details will be handled after the game ends. Players can view them on the attribute panel, so nothing more will be said here." Wang Qiang was even happier than the owner to see Hosai's hand regrown. "Boss, look at your hand." Yu Yuan excitedly checked herself. "Leveled up? Amazing, finally I won't be powerless anymore." Wang Qiang poked at the screen in front of him. "Is this the attribute panel? You can pull it up anytime, it's incredible. Where should I allocate these 3 extra points?" Hosai rubbed his healed wrist and beamed arrogantly. "Indeed, fortune hasn't abandoned me when you level up. Negative effects on the body reset to their original state." Xiao Tu paced back and forth coaxingly. "Now we follow the rule of the minority. Obeying the majority, the players decide. Do you agree to open the hidden quest? If the number of people present drops to 3 or fewer, the hidden quest will automatically trigger." After saying that, she suddenly ran up in front of Chen Mo. Xiao Tu emphasized to him, "A special note, the hidden quest, once activated, cannot be cancelled. If you clear it, all survivors will randomly awaken a skill and receive rich, unique rewards." She then tossed the remaining information to Hosai, saying simply, "This chance won't come again, players must seize it." Xiao Tu snapped her fingers as a signal. "Now 1-minute countdown, decide." Hosai was still dazed from the out-of-the-blue boon, a skill. He hadn't expected to directly gain a skill. He'd heard that players with skills and those without are not comparable. What Chen Mo cared about instead was a bug in this lucrative setup. The number of survivors is 4. Not enough to trigger the hidden quest. Doesn't that mean the so-called hidden quest and the trap rule are the same thing? Why bother creating such a trap to lure players into the hidden quest? Unless the system's purpose is to lure players to their deaths if a player dies in-game, they are also killed by the super strong current of the helmet in real life. No one cares about players' survival. They entice players into higher-risk hidden dungeons to draw more traffic. That would be their goal. So the safest choice now is to refuse anything the higher-ups want. With that thought, Chen Mo spoke first. "I refuse to initiate the hidden quest." Yu Yuan agreed with him reluctantly. "I don't want to stay a second longer in this man-eating place. I refuse." Wang Qiang hesitated and analyzed. "Boss, this money will sustain us for a while, but this place is too dangerous. We should leave immediately." Seeing she couldn't sway them, Xiao Tu narrowed her eyes and asked again, "Really?" She wiggled her finger in mock regret. "Such a pity. You must think carefully. The rewards for clearing the hidden dungeon are generous. Not only game experience, items, and skills, but also in-game goods and large amounts of real-world money and fame." Chen Mo knew she was recruiting, so he cut her off. "No need to say more. We refuse to start the hidden quest." Xiao Tu exhaled in disappointment. "Fine." She put hands on her hips and shouted, "All right then." 4 players survived. 3 refused to activate the hidden quest, so I declare the game this time. Hosai, who had been silent, twitched with a dark thought. "No, it can't end if I had a skill. That bastard wouldn't be so insolent here. Yes, if only I had a skill. If only I had a skill. Thinking this, he immediately seized Wang Qiang. Qiang, don't worry about your family. I'll take care of them. Go. With one twist of his hand, Wang Qiang's soul left his body. Yu Yuan screamed in terror at the sight. She stammered and finally choked out one word. Brother. Sure enough, the moment Wang Qiang logged out, Hu Chai grinned at the new notification. The number of surviving players is 3, and the hidden quest 10,000 Serpents Pit has been activated. Chen Mo's heart dropped, damn it. He didn't expect that bastard to kill his men to force open the hidden quest. Before he could finish thinking, the wobbling beneath his feet jolted him. The surrounding space suddenly shattered in explosion. From cracks in the ground, tens of thousands of snake bodies writhed up. 2 massive green serpents also rose up, encircling them. Their eyes flashed red, ready to strike at any moment. Sure enough, a second later the 2 green serpents activated. They split into 2 directions, locking down every blind spot. Xiao Tu sprawled on the clock and gleefully announced, detected 3 surviving players enough to trigger the hidden quest 10,000 Serpents Pit. Survive for 10 minutes. Survivors receive extra rewards. Now, countdown begins. The more she spoke, the more excited she became. So you weren't of one mind after all. I thought the hidden dungeon wouldn't open this time. Xiao Tu shifted constantly, exclaiming, interesting, very interesting. Every time someone's greed drives them into a dead end, they keep compressing their own living space until they completely bury themselves. Though his whole body trembled, Hosai kept repeating reassurances. 10 minutes, if I hold on 10 more minutes, I'll never have to fear anyone again. Chen Mo forced himself to suspend emotion and keep calculating. At this point, hesitation wasn't an option, counting the 2 big snakes. Once surrounded, even 100 lives wouldn't be enough to stop these beasts from trampling them. But the small snakes weren't targeting them, they went after their own kind. One after another, they lunged to bite the tail of the one in front. Seeing this plunged Chen Mo into unease. What is happening? These snakes aren't separating. Could the so-called protective mechanism be aimed only at the snakes themselves? If 2 Tan-Chi collide, the devouring rule would take over. If his guess was right, the hidden quest is just an extension of the main game. The rules are probably the same. Kill the 2 beasts, and you can clear the stage. While sizing up the plan, Chen Mo raised his power to 13. Now he had to find a way to make the 2 bosses devour each other. This was the last chance. Meanwhile, Hushai dragged Yu Yuan along with a cruel calculation in mind. 10 minutes, I must endure these 10 minutes. If it fails, let this girl be a shield for me. But where he couldn't see, she buffed herself up by 3. Then she shoved him hard in the back, making Husai stagger. Yu Yuan looked at him falling into the snake pit and sneered, "Die, you bastard," while he howled in frustration. "You bastard." Even as he was torn apart, Husai still babbled, "How dare you betray me? I planned this carefully, even killed my subordinates to open that hidden quest. I'm not going to die here like this." Yu Yuan read him like a book and cut him off. "Betrayer Zhao, don't think I don't know what you're like. You can kill your underlings, can't you kill me too?" In the midst of danger, Hu Chai tried to reach out. He grabbed Yu Yuan's ankle and pleaded, "I don't want to die, save me. I'll give you money, everything, just get me out." She drove her heel into his face and screamed, "If you want to die, die on your own." Yet, Hosai clung like glue, unwilling to accept it. "I planned everything carefully. How did I end up tricked by someone like you?" Finally, he erupted with power and roared, "Die with me." Yu Yuan, who hadn't expected to capsize the boat in the ditch, let out a quiet sob. No, no, no. Their commotion seemed to have no effect on Chen Mo. He stood between the 2 snakeheads, planning silently. To survive this swarm, that spot was currently the only safe place. With that thought, Chen Mo suddenly leapt into the mouth of the nearest green serpent. But he kept its jaws from closing, trying to maintain this natural refuge. Chen Mo bent his back and couldn't help complaining. Damn, the bite is so strong. Luckily, the attribute points he just upgraded helped. Otherwise, the protagonist might not have held on. He burst with power, pushed the serpent's jaw outward, and lured the other one in. Come on, the outcome is decided right here. As they were about to kiss, was when half of Chen Mo's plan succeeded. This was the moment. He wrenched himself out of that steamy embrace, thinking this move would decide life or death. Chen Mo entered the fight, telling himself that this moment would determine whether he lived or died. A giant green serpent quickly appeared, its gaping mouth radiating menace and terrifying strength. But after Chen Mo's powerful assault, the serpent gradually became incapacitated. Very soon after, it vanished before his eyes. Chen Mo jumped into the serpent's zone, and a system announcement rang out. Subject completed serpent encirclement. 4. Cleared hidden quest. 10,000 Serpents Pit. Became MVP of this match. Congratulations, user has leveled up to level 8. Now has 10 free attribute points. Received 1 skill draw opportunity. Administrator privileges upgraded. New write code copy. Code copy allows copying the game code of any dead target within 30 minutes and claiming it as your own. Chen Mo was a bit bewildered by the information. Code copy, so system privileges increase with level. The system confirmed, indeed. Now I can copy the code of any dead NPC. Can copy the code. Tan Chi. She, do you want to copy it? He answered, do I need to think? Copy it for me quickly. Soon there was a new announcement. Congratulations, user has obtained ownership of the code Tan Chi Shi. It has been stored in the system inventory and can be summoned at any time. He gripped the new pet in his hand, quietly pleased. Good. With this skill there will be another supporter in the future. From behind, a woman's steps approached slowly with the words, congratulations, congratulations. Congratulations on being the only one to clear this game. I will collect your information on behalf of the Supreme God to upload to the database. In the future, if you have any further outstanding performances, you will receive additional generous rewards. So, do you want to accept this reward? Chen Mo considered carefully. Uploading information to the database, this seems to be how they screen players who might gain the mind, then monitor them. If the higher-ups deem these people a threat, they wouldn't hesitate to eliminate them. Wait, almost forgot. These system girls are essentially embodiments of the mind in the game. Each system girl holds part of the mind's power. Although few in number, if he could accumulate them gradually, by hunting system girls, he could steal the mind's authority from within the game. Xiao Tu, seeing Chen Mo not respond, anxiously asked, hey, are you listening? Are you offline? He snarled, not answering her question but issuing a firm command. Tan Chi, she swallow her for me. No sooner had he spoken than the green serpent appeared from behind, gaping its mouth and lunging straight at Xiao Tu. She angrily used her hands to shield herself and shouted, hey, you're cheating. Chen Mo said nothing, silently watching the green serpent swallow Xiao Tu cleanly without leaving a trace. A system announcement rang out again. Collected 0.1% of the unique god's authority, the mind. Chen Mo curled his lips in a smile, pleased with the result. Truly, whatever he thought came to pass. If so, he would have to hunt down as many incarnations of the mind as possible in the future, but do it discreetly and absolutely avoid detection by the higher rank. For now, offline. Scene shifts to Chen Mo's room. He's just coming to, groggy. Staring at the device that sent him into the game world, Chen Mo's face went blank for a moment. He sat up, gasping, wondering to himself, did I survive? That guy, has he had to go through things like this all along? To answer his question, Chen Mo reached for the phone under his pillow. The screen showed a message. Player Chen Mo cleared the primary dungeon Serpent Encirclement 4, Hidden Quest 10,000 Serpents Pit, received 200 yuan as a live stream prize share. Chen Mo was stunned. 200 yuan. That's an amount ordinary people might not earn in years, yet in the game you can get it simply by surviving. No wonder many people rushed over. Then Chen Mo dialed, but heard the reply. The number you have dialed is currently out of network coverage. Please try again later. He called Jin Can back, but the result was the same. Chen Mo flopped back on the bed in frustration, thinking, still can't reach her, where did that girl go? He closed his eyes drowsily. He thought inwardly that if he hadn't been so stubborn at first, fiercely opposing the use of the mind for this kind of game and offending the higher-ups, to the point those bastards framed him, causing him not only to lose his job but also to bear heavy contractual fines. That was why the girl had to join the game to earn money to clean up the mess for him. Thinking of this, Chen Mo slammed his hand hard on the bed in anger. He stood up, reproaching himself inwardly. Since she left that sum of money, she hadn't been heard from so far. The only clue was that she was still active in the game. Chen Mo took off his shirt, eager. I'm coming. Wherever you are, I'll find you and bring you back. This time, it's my turn to protect you. At the city's busiest shopping mall, the crowd there was huge. On TV, the announcer reported live. Gold Game Round 264. 7th Group Qualifier is broadcasting. Viewers perked up. This kid is interesting, he spotted Tan Chi. She's weakness from the start. Looks like he did plenty of research before entering the game. Tian Quan of level 25 Breaking Army Squad laughed and praised loudly. This kid has strong momentum. My kind of style if there's a chance. Recruiting him to our team wouldn't be a bad idea. Fei Ying, sitting behind, snorted coldly and replied, it was just a newbie stage. If these players could coordinate and cooperate, perhaps none would have to die. But sadly, in a newbie stage with a 40% pass rate, stubbornness led to almost the entire team being wiped out. One can only say the overall quality of this cohort is too poor. Players at this level are unworthy of being my teammate. Upon hearing this, Tian Quan laughed louder, his expression clearly very pleased. He turned to her and said, "No wonder you're Fei Ying, the so-called nightmare of newbies, still strict as ever. But, should we lower our standards a bit? At this rate, our team really won't be able to recruit anyone." She confidently affirmed the motto, "Better to lack than to take indiscriminately." Back with Chen Mo, he had just finished showering when he received a phone notification. Chen Mo picked up and asked, "Who is it?" The voice on the line introduced themselves. "It's me. I have news about the person you're looking for." Chen Mo, as if not believing his ears, asked, "What did you say?" The person on the line hurriedly continued. 3 days ago, she appeared on the MVP leaderboard of some game. This information is worth 50,000. Transfer the money and I'll send you the detailed info." Chen Mo sat on the bed, staring at his phone, thinking, Zone 39, D rank, spot the differences. Looks like I have to try my luck in Zone 39. With that, he grabbed his VR headset and put it on. Although the spot the differences game will disappear after clearing the stage, he couldn't miss any clue related to her, so wait up. I will definitely find you. Chen Mo was teleported before a door. The system displayed, "Welcome back, Chen Mo. You have passed the first stage and may now freely choose a game dungeon. Per the agreement, please join the next match within 7 days. Failure to comply will incur a large penalty, and our company reserves the right to enforce coercive measures." Chen Mo tapped a few times and snorted at the harsh clause. Either play to create value or pay a large ransom, they lose nothing either way. But he didn't care. Whatever. He wasn't in the mood for this right now. The most important thing now was to find the girl and regain control of the mine. Standing in the middle of the road, lost in thought, Chen Mo deduced from past experience that while combat power isn't the only criterion for finishing Bounty Hunter, it greatly increases survival odds. Therefore, strength and agility were the attributes he needed to upgrade most. He decided and twisted a few knobs on the control panel. Intelligence, which represents magical value, was less important. Alright, he could clearly feel himself getting noticeably stronger. Then Chen Mo glanced to the bottom of the panel. What's this, a skill bar? He suddenly realized, right. He almost forgot after clearing the previous stage he earned 1 skill draw, perfect to use now. Before entering the game, he had to maximize his power as much as possible. Chen Mo closed his eyes and called. The system began the skill draw. The lucky wheel spun immediately, and the needle landed on a basic skill. Congratulations, you obtained Invisible Wing. After use, the player can hover in midair for 1 minute. Cooldown is 10 minutes. Chen Mo dragged the new skill into an empty slot. Short-term hovering isn't high tier, but used well it could yield unexpected results at a critical moment. Alright, no more delay time to check out Hall D tier. Suddenly a voice sounded behind him. Excuse me, are you the newly promoted player? Chen Mo turned his head. What can I do for you? He smiled kindly and explained, Don't get me wrong, I'm new too, but I've already completed 2 matches. I wanted to ask if you'd be interested in teaming up with me. Don't worry, my target is an E-tier dungeon. It shouldn't be too dangerous. Chen Mo coldly declined. Sorry, I'm heading to Ben Dungeon D tier. I probably can't team up with you. He was stunned, then immediately protested. What? Hey, wait. A newbie already wants to challenge Ben Dungeon D tier right after leveling up? That's extremely unwise, you'll die. The door closed despite the warnings behind it. System notice. Please confirm whether you want to enter Hall D tier. Once chosen, it cannot be cancelled. His eyes filled with resolve. Confirm. Target. Zone 39, D rank. He muttered under his breath. This guy's crazy. When all the players were present, Xiao Yi raised a hand and said, Hello everyone. Welcome to the Heaven Thunder Earth Fire game. I am the dungeon system, Xiao Yi. Next, I will read the rules. Please listen carefully. She brazenly walked among the crowd and explained simply, This large area is a minefield. 30 mines are buried here in total. Either find them all, or let them all detonate. Completing either of those will count as clearing the stage. One person summarized. So it's mine clearing, find the mines, and you pass. Others were wary, fearing it wouldn't be that easy. Xiao Yi smiled charmingly and said, Of course it's not that easy. Within every 5-minute countdown, at least one player must perform a probe. If someone violates this, the whole team will be punished. If time runs out and no player probes the map, she spread her 10 fingers menacingly and warned that mines would be randomly detonated until all 30 had exploded. Xiao Yi paced back to her place, but to help everyone clear the stage, the dungeon also left them a chance to survive. Each probe has a chance to draw different support items from ground tiles. Please make good use of them. In an instant, she jumped into the teleportation hole, leaving a farewell. Well then, I wish the players success in clearing the stage. I hope next time I appear, you will still be alive. Goodbye. The blonde man pushed up his glasses. This dungeon doesn't sound too hard. Isn't it just a minesweeping game? Just follow the logic and clearing it is only a matter of time. Zhang Ya disagreed. You can reason it out later, but the early wilderness phase is like Russian roulette. No one knows if they'll suddenly step on a mine. Chen Mo, however, guessed gloomily. Strange. Though they say it's fine, is Ben Dungeon D tier really that simple? Maybe I came to the wrong place. The group in the Great Hall buzzed with discussion. Someone spoke up. Wait, regardless of the dungeon, why is there a useless newbie who just cleared the rookie stage here? Everyone agreed. Right, we're all veterans here who've cleared at least 2 dungeons. Others doubted the newcomer's ability. What if the kid drags us down? Yes, this useless thing is a ticking time bomb, a threat perhaps no less than the mine. Tianba finally couldn't stand their noise and spoke. Quiet, I have a proposal. Anyone mind hearing it? You've heard the rules. In this dungeon, no one can save themselves alone. So we'll draw lots to decide the order. Whoever's turn it is must step up. Anyone who disobeys brings disaster on everyone. Don't blame me if I weed out the rot. Having said that, he went to pat Chen Mo on the shoulder. So, even if this guy is a newbie, at least he won't hold the team back. The rest depends on each person's skill. Tianba looked around at everyone with a tone that brooked no refusal. Now I've spoken, who agrees, who objects? Xitian and Gu Qiang hurried forward from behind to flank him and show off. You've all heard of City Z's domineering brother, right? He's the one standing here. Any objections? Duel me in that corner. If not, quickly raise your hands for me. Chen Mo stood off in a corner, carefully sizing up the man acting like a leader. Though he was brazen and domineering, given the situation, this was indeed the most viable approach. Otherwise, everyone would just be a chaotic mess, creating more trouble. Seeing no one dared oppose, Tianba began to summon the system. Of course, so no one suspects us. We'll use the drawing function built into the system, then everyone must accept their fate, and no one can cheat or play tricks. He privately took pride in the self-serving scheme. A bunch of fools. My skill is fate-seizing hand. In a luck-based game like this, I just act and win easily. Luckily, I spent a lot on the black market to buy this insider info. Otherwise, I'd be reluctant to use this precious skill that can only be used 3 times. He volunteered to draw first. As expected, I drew card number 1. So I'll volunteer to go first, to pave the way for everyone. Some among them weren't entirely stupid. Chao Yue began to doubt. No way this is a coincidence. He drew the first spot right away. Could the first drawer be guaranteed absolute safety? Ai Ling standing beside him noticed too, but, to preserve her life, couldn't resist. Fine. Don't say anything more. One less problem is a good thing. You can't beat them. So don't become a target. Tianba stepped forward to choose the first tile. Moreover, this is a system draw. How could it be rigged? The ground beneath him began to tremble, and a large game board emerged. Tile number 1 also appeared directly below. The whole board alternated white and purple tiles, except his tile, which was gray. Tianba stood below and shouted to the others. Sorry, looks like my luck isn't great. Who's next? Step up. Ai Ling was next, her face full of fear. Damn, there are still so many safe zones unexplored. Going around like this is too risky. Flustered and still a bit resentful, she asked, would anyone be willing to switch order with me? The Zhangya group behind immediately refused. Come on, your situation is literally a life or death gamble. One stroke of bad luck, and you're done. Who would dare swap with you? Gu Qiang urged, step up willingly, hurry, don't waste everyone's time. Seeing no one willing to swap, Ai Ling helplessly accepted her fate. I know, stop pushing. At that moment, Chen Mo suddenly received a system notification. This was hidden dungeon info. It seemed even with just a fractional percentage of mind authority, he could still use a little. If he could investigate more info about the dungeon, its difficulty would drop significantly. Indeed, it wasn't that simple now. He could only analyze based on this single piece of information. He immediately recognized the game's answer. Why had 1.1 and 2.2 swapped positions? This is the XP system's watermark, could it be? Just as Ai Ling stepped forward to choose a zone, Chen Mo spoke up. I'll switch with you. She remained hesitant. Are you serious? You won't regret it? Without pausing, he stepped closer to the map. I'll switch with you this second move. Let me go. Ai Ling, not stupid, immediately took the chance to step back. All right, go ahead, I'll go first. Good luck. A mocking smile at the sight invited derision, as expected of a newbie still trying to flirt at a time like this. Chao Yue cautiously stepped back a few paces. Later, keep some distance. Don't let this idiot drag you down. Standing on the board, Tianba now observed everyone's actions above. This kid is somewhat interesting. I dared to go first because I bought intel on the black market at a high price. The kid is so confident, could he also have some insider information? Chen Mo looked down once more before making his choice. Earlier, the system board showed an XP watermark, which suggested this dungeon might be developed based on the XP version of Minesweeper. But maybe that's a problem, I happen to be too familiar with this. A memory from the real world, when he shared a room with Can surfaced. The old rule, each person takes one move. If you win, you buy takeout. If you lose, you cook. No cheating. She flopped onto the table in exasperation. Come on, this is a bit of bullying playing Minesweeper? I've only beaten you a few times. Seeing he couldn't convince his sister, Chen Mo took a step back and put on a resigned face. All right. I'll take one for the team, let you go first. This computer runs XP. The first move in Minesweeper is absolutely safe. How's that? Enough favor for you this time? Can, benefiting, rushed over to butter him up. I knew you'd be the nicest to me. He calmly refocused on the game. Deal. Don't go back on your word. If I lose, you buy the meal. The memory paused there as Chen Mo silently promised. Can, wait for me, I will find you, no matter the cost. Immediately, a series of in-game strategies came to mind. Since this dungeon is based on Minesweeper, Zhang Tianba stepped on two, which was actually a mine. But in XP Minesweeper, there's a protection rule for the first move. The mine isn't detonated, but moved to the top left position 1, 1. That's why the system reported that 2 and 1 had swapped places. He then looked at the actual battlefield and began calculating. So 1 must now be the mine, and Zhang Tianba revealed a 1, meaning the tiles around Zhang Tianba, except for 1, are all safe. No matter how someone schemed to get the first spot, they probably had to obtain dungeon documents through other channels. It's just unclear where that guy got his intel. Time for thinking ran out and Xiao Yue sneered. Kid, only 10 seconds left. You were so arrogant earlier, playing hero to save the beauty. What now, scared? Ai Ling hurriedly disavowed any connection to her rescuer. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't know this idiot. He volunteered to swap with me. If it affects you, it's nothing to do with me. As the countdown numbers dwindled, Chen Mo made his decision at the last second. He reached out and selected the tile right next to Tianba. The system received the choice, and he was instantly teleported to stand beside him. The moment his foot touched down, a burst of light radiated around that tile. Other numbered tiles on the board began to reveal themselves one by one. Along with them, the tiles containing mines were gradually exposed. A stream of blue energy was quickly absorbed into his body as the system spammed notifications of the items received. The people above couldn't believe their eyes. What? This kid's the lucky one? Ai Ling shouted in regret. Damn it, I shouldn't have swapped with him. That stuff should have been mine. Tianba stepped up close to him. Hey kid, not bad. Chen Mo said nothing, but breathed a silent sigh of relief. Fortunately, by following traditional Minesweeper rules, he could reason things out. He quickly pulled himself together, though this is still Ben Dungeon D tier. There might be hidden rules like the old Snake game, so he couldn't be complacent. Besides, Zhang Tianba had gone to great lengths to secure the first position, so he must have obtained original documents through other channels. His clumsy act was laughable and easy to see through. Seeing Chen Mo keep staring, Tianba patted his shoulder and flattered him. Good job, kid, though a rookie. You're cautious and have potential. His sweet words hid jealousy and resentment. Damn it, this kid must also have internal intel. If I'd known, I would have taken the second move myself. The more Tianba thought about it, the more regretful he became. Those items were valuable and could serve as lifesavers at critical moments. What a steal for that kid. Frustrated that his plan hadn't succeeded, he vented at the others. Come on everyone, hurry up for me. If anyone dares to doom us all, don't blame me for taking action. With that, Tianba rolled his eyes and plotted inwardly. Let the kid enjoy his moment. Then wait for the chance to deal with him. Those items will be mine. Those above quickly promised, Don't worry, boss. We'll keep watch so nothing happens. The impatient man urged. Hurry up, who's next? Zhang Ya trembled as she called out. It's me. I'll choose here. She looked at the map and slowly explained her reasoning. This spot is definitely a trap. I'll mark it so the adjacent one surely isn't. I choose this one. Saying that, Zhang Ya jumped down onto the tile she had chosen. The solid ground beneath her made her visibly happier. Safe. Xiao Yue decisively became the next to go. He too landed safely like a blind cat catching a fried fish. My luck isn't bad either. Shiyu said nothing and picked a spot for herself. The others also went out one by one without incident. In no time, the board was filled with players. Having gotten lucky once, Zhang Ya crowed loudly. What? I thought this stage would be hard, but it's just sweeping mines. Can't you pass it with your eyes closed? Musu promptly curbed that arrogance. You can't say that this is an old game. If you're not familiar with it, you can easily get into trouble, she admitted awkwardly. True. Shiyu moved closer to Chenmo alone. Hey brother. She pulled down her mask and whispered. You've probably noticed Zhang Tianba must have used a skill when drawing. He squinted, scrutinizing the other from head to toe. Then she tossed back a nonchalant remark. So what if you know it's just exploiting a loophole in the rules? Shiyu reached out to express his view. Although he said it casually, his feigned attitude was off-putting. A bit about me. I'm Xie Shiyu, a game streamer. You seem familiar with this game, how about we help each other in the future? Chenmo blurted. Help each other? This is a life or death game, not a dungeon in some virtual game. Shiyu pouted in mock reproach. Do I need you to teach me? I just wanted to find allies to cope together. Unfortunately, only once before did a girl agree to team up with me. Brother, I'm not flattering though she's female. That kid was overwhelmingly strong. It was the first time I met a female gamer that powerful. Shiyu rambled on theatrically and regrettably forgot to ask the girl's name. She only remembered the girl seemed to have blonde hair. After that, I never met such a strong, reliable mentor again. Hearing that, Chenmo's heart jolted. Could it be his sister? He lost his composure and grabbed Shiyu's shoulder, shaking her. You said the girl had blonde hair. What did she look like exactly? Long hair, double eyelids, a mole at the corner of her eye? She clutched her arm and shouted, Hey, 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 you're hurting me. I didn't look that closely, but I think that's right. Before Chenmo could be dazed any longer, Tianba beside him loudly cut in. Hey, hey, what are you doing? He put his hands on his hips and pointed like a leader. Your turn, what are you staring at? Choose quickly. When it was Ai Ling's turn, she broke out in a cold sweat. Someone help me, there's nothing left I can pick. I really don't know where to go next. The people around not only refused to help, but muttered, You can't pick that one. The remaining tiles get harder and harder, one wrong move and we'll all be doomed. Blame her for being unlucky. Luck is part of the power in Minesweeper. At that moment, a countdown bomb appeared above Ai Ling's head. The system repeatedly sounded alerts. Next player. Begin as soon as possible. After a 30-second countdown, a random mine on the field will detonate. Tianba, boiling with anger, shouted, Damn it, when you drew earlier you said not following the rules is against everyone. He lost patience and ran straight to Ai Ling. Too scared to choose? I'll pick for you. She sat down trembling, begging repeatedly, No, don't kill me. I don't want to die. Please, anyone, help me, help me. In a rage, Tianba reached out. Too noisy if you're that scared of dying, let me give you a hand. But before his hand could touch a hair on Ai Ling, another hand stopped him. Wait, Shiyu stepped forward to calm things. Brother, don't move. Let me help her choose, this doesn't break any rules. She tilted her head toward Ai Ling for confirmation. So, if you trust me, then listen to me. Without waiting for a response, Shiyu confidently explained, The number under my feet is 3, and around it, I've marked 3 mines for you. Therefore, the tile right in front of me is definitely not a mine. If you trust me, step on that one. Though still dazed, Ai Ling clapped enthusiastically. I'll choose here, thank you. I won't forget this. The onlookers rolled their eyes in contempt. You need someone to tell you something this simple? Some people really like meddling. After handling that, Shiyu turned to soothe Tianba. Brother, go calm down somewhere else. She's just overly nervous and panicking. Ai Ling obediently followed her instructions. Sure enough, this time she was lucky and unharmed. When the steady feeling returned to her feet, she cried out, Sis, it's real, I'm okay. Shiyu beamed and waved her hand. Good. Being fine is enough. But their brief joy was suddenly cut short as the space abruptly turned scarlet. The square beneath Ai Ling's feet suddenly changed color. She screamed in terror. What's happening? Didn't you say there were no mines? The 3 of them, including Chenmo, flinched in alarm. Chenmo reacted in an instant and dropped flat to the ground. No sooner had he lain down than Ai Ling's head was blown off. A devastating explosion sent earth and stone flying in all directions. Chenmo immediately used his skill, Invisible Wings, while Shiyu simultaneously activated her skill to control gravity. Others felt the blast's pressure too. Wang Qiang quickly shouted, Qitian, use your skill. He did so, deploying a shield. A solid protective layer appeared. At the same time, Chao Yue smartly drank a vitality potion. The force of the explosion finally subsided, leaving only black smoke and corpses. A huge black crater scarred the ground where the blast had struck. Chenmo and Shiyu stepped closer to stare into the pit. Chenmo felt suspicion rising. What happened? Where did that lightning come from? Was it the girl just now? But a moment later, he dismissed the thought and recalled, no, there definitely weren't any mines in that area. Something unanticipated must have occurred. Chao Yue limped over, clutching his shoulder, and accused in a strained voice, that's the direction you pointed that girl to, right? I can't believe someone who looks so pretty could be so vicious. Zhang Ya, standing nearby, shared the fate, holding her arm in pain. She chimed in, yes. Do you know? 3 players were blown up because of you. You're the murderer. She wouldn't stop and jabbed a finger at Shi Yu's face, growling. The number of people has decreased. Soon it will be my turn to choose. Wait, no. I don't want that you killed them. You must be held responsible. Shi Yu, focused on adjusting her hand to listen, didn't want to argue with her, and calmly asked, shut the hell up when that girl was begging. What were you doing? And now you're all screaming. A moment later she glanced at them and sneeringly exposed them. Weren't you the ones who agreed at the time of choosing? Now you turn around and say, I killed people. I think you just want to openly find someone to die in your place. Chen Mo, still walking around the rim of the crater, silently concluded that the girl Shi Yu hadn't miscalculated. The problem likely occurred where no one was looking. Perhaps something was lurking right beneath this minefield. Recalling when Shi Yu pointed out the position, he narrowed his eyes and confirmed to himself that there really shouldn't have been a mine here. Then, Chen Mo reviewed the earlier positions in his mind and wondered whether he had missed some important information. Suddenly, he discovered something and his eyes widened in astonishment. Staring at the area near the crater, Chen Mo couldn't help but mutter in confusion. The numbers on the mine tile, they're gone. At the same time, on this side, Shi Yu was being viciously berated by a mad mob. Wang Qiang rudely threatened, damn it. A murderer who's arrogant like that, did you think we wouldn't dare deal with you? Gu Qiang, prowling like a tiger and fox, brandished a knife and shouted, charge. Chao Yue watched and egged them on. Right, rather than wait for her to come back and kill us. Better to take her out first. Shi Yu said little, summoned her skill, and challenged, come on. She put on an excited expression, gathered magic in her hands, and arrogantly declared, if you're not afraid to die, come and try. For the record, my skill manipulates gravity. Anyone who wants to experience free falling through a minefield, step up. Faced with that terrifying sight, the 3 men holding weapons hesitated and stalled. Suddenly, someone approached from behind in a low voice and said, hey, which startled her. Shi Yu spun around and angrily shouted, what? You want to cause trouble for me too? Chen Mo didn't answer. His expression was slightly cold. Suddenly, he pointed to the earlier crater and said, listen to me. There may be a type of mine in this field that can move it, can wander the minefield and explode at any time. Which drew everyone's attention. Zhang Ya, puzzled, asked, a moving mine? What is that? What is he talking about? Gu Qiang, stubborn, hurriedly dismissed it. That's made up if such a thing existed. Would this dungeon still be called a minesweeper? Wang Qiang, not speaking much, stroked his chin and thought with interest. Mines that can move, interesting. It's created. Chen Mo didn't bother arguing and stated clearly, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers marked here used to be 3,332, but now they've become 2,333. He recalled the locations of those numbers and analyzed confidently. Moreover, the marked sign here has disappeared, which means the mine here moved 1 tile to the right, so that girl was blown up before she could react. That explanation gradually convinced the others. Gu Qiang observed and confirmed. From what he says, it seems this really happened. Zhang Ya had to admit, when that girl first stepped up, there was really nothing. After finishing his detailed analysis, Chen Mo glanced at Shi Yu and challenged, you led her into that tile, surely you noticed it was problematic already, right? So you found someone to die as a test? She flinched involuntarily. His face then grew serious as he asked in a grating voice, well, do you want me to continue? Caught out, Shi Yu's face turned awkward, and she stammered, no, that's not. How did you know? What's your purpose? Why did you help me out of that situation? Hearing that, Chen Mo hurriedly denied it. Help you? You've got it wrong. You can't die now. I need your strength to uncover the truth. Suddenly, Shi Yu stepped back behind Chen Mo and gave a puzzled smile. She shrugged and coolly retorted to Chen Mo, why should I help you? Just because you said a few words to help me? I didn't expect a newcomer like you to be so arrogant. I didn't ask for your help without you. They still couldn't do anything to me. Shi Yu's mocking, contemptuous attitude awakened the black serpent inside Chen Mo, its oppressive aura terrifying her into silence. Chen Mo's eyes flashed with anger as he growled, have I been too lenient with you? A moment later he leaned in close and stared at her, warning, I'm merely informing you, not negotiating. Shiyu's face showed panic and silent awe at the overwhelming pressure. Shiyu swallowed and wondered skeptically whether this guy was really just a rank B rookie, certainly not some hidden master pretending to be a newbie to trap others. Imagining Chen Mo attacking her made her shiver, but she thought cooperating wouldn't hurt after all. She had the information he wanted, so he'd likely leave her alone. After weighing it, she hurriedly waved her hand to soothe the handsome guy. "No need to be so tense. You helped me, and of course I don't want to owe you." Shiyu looked embarrassed and forced a smile, adding, "But my clairvoyant skill can only be used 3 times per match. I already used it once just now, so..." Wang Qiang, arms crossed and arrogant, scoffed. "With so many numbers, who can remember them exactly?" Qi Tian agreed, and asked, "Do you mean he might have misread them?" Chen Mo glanced at them and asserted, "I'm a programmer. I'm especially sensitive to numbers. I won't be wrong. Besides, making things up makes no sense." Wang Qiang put a hand on Chen Mo's shoulder and said, "All right, buddy. Your theory has some merit, but we still have to continue the game. There's no time to verify fantasies, right?" Gu Qiang nodded in agreement. "Yeah, time's almost up, so don't cause trouble." Gaining that credibility made him breathe a sigh of relief. Chen Mo immediately regained confidence, pointed at the crater and said, "Everyone, verifying whether the mines can move isn't hard." Qiao Yue then admitted honestly, "You can see this is clearly a safe tile. Actually, I have a detection skill that can reveal hidden mines nearby, but it has limited uses." He looked at a square with a flag and said, "From my observation, there's indeed a mine next to it." Without hesitation, Chen Mo clenched his fist and stepped forward, radiating a menacing aura as he said, "The test is simple. Just step on it." Seeing Chen Mo leave the safe spot, Shiyu shouted, "Hey, are you serious?" But he focused only on the system. Previous mines take about 0.5 seconds from trigger to explosion, so the escape window must be within 0.2 seconds. By pumping all possible points into agility, I'm about equivalent to a level 2-0 player, and with speed and life-restoring potions, I can probably escape the blast radius. Those standing behind immediately distanced themselves from Chen Mo, cursing, "Damn, he's crazy if you want to die. Don't take me with you," and quickly moved away so they wouldn't be caught off guard. A grotesque system face suddenly appeared at his feet. Immediately after, a massive explosion rocked the area. Everyone dropped to the ground quickly, but Qiao Yue was unlucky and caught some of the blast's remnants. Over here, Citian screamed in protest at being restrained. "Damn it, my skill wasn't ready yet." Only one person kept watching the explosion with growing worry. This guy, could he actually be dead? A second later, Shiyu's eyes lit up. Chen Mo emerged from the smoke and flames looking ridiculously cool. In an instant, he was several meters away from the explosion. She watched in silence with a hint of admiration. So fast, even with speed potions you couldn't move that quickly. This guy was definitely hiding his real level, at least level 20 or higher. But Shiyu didn't know that he felt slightly unwell after escaping death, dizzy and nearly out of lives. His remaining life points weren't enough for another try. Thinking that, Chen Mo pulled out a large syringe and, to be safe, used a life restoration potion to heal some blood before speaking again. He drank all the liquid inside without hesitation. Only then did everyone around notice the large hole in the floor. Damn, this guy was serious. Qiao Yue, frightened, sank to the ground. There really were moving mines under the floor. Zhang Ya also panicked and shouted, "Aren't we dead then? Even if we know, what can we do? We can't see under the floor or the mine's paths." Shortly after, the dungeon system appeared with a reminder. "Players, you have 30 seconds to perform the next probe. Exceed the time, and a random mine will detonate. Please take note." Upon hearing this, she swore, "Damn," but Zhang Ya quickly despaired, lamenting, "We're done for this time. It's over. There's no chance to win. We're all going to die." Only Chen Mo calmly moved closer to the black pit to observe. These mines must follow some movement pattern, otherwise the difficulty would be absurd. The movement rule is important, but figuring out why the mines move is more urgent. Suddenly something strange caught his eye, making Chen Mo's eyes widen. What was that? He looked back at the crowd and urged, "You all see it now, right? To clear the stage, we must prioritize dealing with the moving mines." Citian wanted to argue, but his voice had long since trembled. "You can say that, but the system task is urgent. How can we worry about anything else?" Chen Mo growled and cut him off directly. "This is exactly what I meant." He began pointing to assign people. Briefly, split the remaining players into 2 groups, one to complete the system task, the other to find the mine's movement trajectories. Citian quickly chose the easiest option. "I'll take the system task." Even she selfishly opted out. Those mine trajectories are invisible and untouchable. One slip, and you die. I'm not volunteering to die, I'll take the system task too. Seeing Shi Yu had been silent, Chenmo glanced at her for a long moment. Finally, he spoke up. Here's the plan. Everyone else continue the system task. You and I will search for the mind's movement paths. How about that? Shi Yu patted her chest and smiled confidently. No problem. We'll complete the task. At that moment, Tianba cut into their conversation. Wait, little brother, just the two of you is too risky. Why don't we go together? The more people, the safer. Chenmo bluntly rejected his proposal. I don't want extra people. The situation below is unclear. More people might be counterproductive. Don't worry if we get loot. I'll share it. Hearing that, Tianba felt a surge of hope. I have a feeling there's something good inside. This kid has likely discovered something. If he gets the reward, maybe he'll share it with us. How could I not trust that? Yet outwardly, he still patted Chenmo's shoulder encouragingly. All right, young ones, you're brave. I'll stay on the surface to lead the team and continue the system task. Tianba enthusiastically offered Chenmo some good items and added, take this if anything happens down there, contact me immediately. I'll support you from the surface. Chenmo was slightly surprised by the thoughtfulness walkie-talkie. He hadn't expected Tianba to bring so many useful things. Chenmo didn't think long and took the walkie-talkie. Okay, I'll take it. He didn't know that as Chenmo turned away, Tianba was already scheming. If he finds something valuable, I'll trigger all the mines from the surface and nab the rewards, then you can all bury yourselves here. Meanwhile, Shi Yu, after walking some distance, dared to warn him. Hey, do you really expect him to help us? Even I can tell that guy isn't trustworthy if he doesn't take the chance to betray us. Consider ourselves lucky. Chenmo made his stance clear to her immediately. It's fine. I wasn't counting on him to keep his word anyway. When they reached the pit's edge, Shi Yu, a bit embarrassed, still urged him. I don't understand what you're thinking. Come a bit closer. My skills range is limited. However, Chenmo ignored her and stepped forward. Shi Yu, getting no response, took the initiative to hold him tightly. She tilted her head to hide her flushed face and explained, don't read too much into it. I have no choice. My skill works on only one persona. If I don't hug you, you'll just wait to fall and die. Chenmo's face darkened slightly but showed no expression. It's fine. Let's go. Not wanting to waste time, he took a quick run up and jumped down. Ready, jump. The two of them fell freely into the pit of unknown depth. She looked around, worried this place was so barren. Could they really find any clues here? But Chenmo spotted a faint line of light in the distance. Driven by instinct, he immediately changed direction and moved toward it. Chenmo's feet quickly landed. Seeing the glowing circle before him, he inferred that this must be a tunnel. The moving mines were surely inside, and only by entering could they learn the mine's movement pattern. Chenmo and Shi Yu entered the tunnel. Shi Yu wondered aloud, surprised there was such a passage ere those mines using this tunnel to move freely? He was curious too, but didn't know exactly how they moved. Shi Yu peered around behind him and joked, could the mines have grown legs? Suddenly a shadow flashed red light in a crack in the rock, startling Shi Yu. Unaware, Chenmo kept walking. She grabbed his sleeve to hold him back and cried, Hey, did you see that? I thought I saw something earlier, she warned anxiously. You have to protect Methus. Place isn't like outside. It's hard to fight here. As she chattered, he thought to himself that he'd actually discovered the true nature of the moving mines earlier. When checking the blast pyth recalled what he'd seen upon entering. What was that? A notification popped up. A code that can copy the Earth mine soldier has been detected. Copy? Yes or no? The notice clarified things for him. So he chose to copy the Earth mine soldier. It turned out these mines were creatures, which explained how they could move and replicate. A brightly golden ant appeared on his hand. Shi Yu crept close to him in fear as they moved. Chenmo stared expectantly at the creature on his palm. If anything went wrong, he'd rely on her. Suddenly everything shook, making the two of them unstable. Shi Yu cried out, Hey! A green ant appeared, many times larger than the two of them, and both were astonished to see it. Behind them, a series of ant heads were emerging from the ground, and Shi Yu went pale. Then many more green ants appeared. The two backed against each other to defend themselves. She, trembling from fright, said, Antso, they're the moving bombs. We should have guessed earlier that. NPC, the little ant. Chenmo took a combat stance and explained to Shi Yu. Clearly they regard us as intruders. If the colony panics, their numbers will only grow. Shi Yu urgently decided to take a risk. Better to try something than sit and wait to die. Take one hit from me and control it. He grabbed her hand to stop her. No, she couldn't. He reminded her, these will detonate. Here are you planning to die with the insects? Shi Yu asked. So what should we do then? Chenmo took out the golden ant from earlier. He used it. Come out. A giant ant appeared. It resembled the others but was golden in color. Chen Mo held Shi Yu tightly. His sudden action left her slightly startled. He told her to sit down. Chen Mo covered Shi Yu's mouth. She watched him pull out a giant ant in puzzlement. He can summon ants? And that giant ant just now, what exactly can it do? Can he really copy whatever he sees? If so, that's too powerful. 3 green ants immediately surrounded the golden ant that was protecting the 2 of them. The ants drew close and did something as if communicating with each other. The green ants then withdrew and no longer intended to attack. Seeing this, Chen Mo realized it was as he guessed. Ants recognize kin by scent. I used my own ant to mask our smell, causing them to mistake us for their own. Shi Yu, cheeks flushed, shyly asked him to let go. Can you release me? He stammered, sorry. They then pulled away from each other. He tapped the body of the golden ant. The ant released an orange-yellow liquid. Chen Mo scooped up the viscous liquid and brought it to Shi Yu. Come here, smear this on yourself. Those ants probably won't notice us then. She waved her hand at the goo and refused. I don't need that. He smeared some on himself and warned her, if you want to die, you can skip it. Shi Yu watched him apply it and inwardly grimaced. This stuff can camouflage you as an ant. She muttered but smeared the orange-yellow goo on herself, no choice. Disgusting as it looked, it had to be done. Seeing him start to go ahead, Shi Yu called out, wait for me. They went further in and more green ants appeared. Shi Yu cried out, there are so many ahead. She panicked. This is bad. There are too many ants. Chen Mo replied calmly. It's fine, this is their nest after all. They blended into the ant swarm. He explained to her. Remember, the system rule was to find 30 mines, but with this colony, not even 30, we might not finish counting at 50. Shi Yu asked curiously. Really? Could the game's rule be fake? He hardened his face and thought grimly. No, the game's rule can't be fake. Perhaps there were truly only 30 mines at the start, he warned her. Stick close to me. If I'm right, the answer is at the very end of the path. They reached the mouth of a cavern. Inside was a massive queen ant with worker ants and ant eggs. The smaller ants took eggs from the queen and neatly arranged them elsewhere. Watching the colony, Chen Mo understood. Indeed, there may have been only 30 mines when the game began, but with this creature here, the number of mines increased over time. He affirmed this silently, when suddenly a notification popped up and caught their attention. To clear the stage, you must kill the hidden boss main quest updated. Detected player has discovered the Heaven and Earth Thunderfire mechanism. A notice also appeared for the other group. Eliminate the mine source, the queen ant. The quest is now available. He wondered aloud, is this a new quest? Chao Yue saw the notice and exclaimed, what the hell? What's a queen ant? Is this still called mine detection? Zhang Ya worriedly blurted out. So we have to fight the mine source too? With just us? Can we win? Tianba smiled slyly at the notice, thinking to himself that the kid really did find something interesting. I knew this D-rank dungeon wouldn't be simple. Shi Yu was excited. A hidden boss. She'd heard people talk about them before and couldn't believe they'd actually encountered one. Rumor said defeating a hidden boss grants massive rewards. It turned out to be true. She looked at him with opportunistic thoughts. He's so strong, let him try the boss first. If he succeeds, won't that fortune fall into my hands? A radio crackled. Hey buddy, you hear me? It's me, old Zhang. We all saw the system notice. So, do you need us to send people down to support you? Chen Mo picked up the radio when he heard it, then looked at it, smiled, and murmured, can't hold it in anymore, huh? No rush, let the bullet fly a little longer. Tianba above shouted into his radio, hey bro, you hear me? Need us to come down and lend a hand? But the silence from the other end made him impatient. Damn, that kid intends to take the whole reward alone. Doesn't he fear blowing himself up? Shi Yu below quietly asked, why not let them come down to help? This might be too much for just the 2 of us. Though she said that, she had her own calculations. The more pawns that probe, the better. How else would I seize the opportunity? After a long pause, Chen Mo replied, you're not wrong, it's risky with just the 2 of us, but up there he'll be our reinforcement. While they were talking, the queen ant drew near with a rustle. Behind her crawled a crawling army of ants through the tunnel. Shi Yu clapped a hand over her mouth in shock. Oh my god, how did these ants catch up? The slime stopped working. Chen Mo reassured her in time. Don't panic. My summon beast hasn't reacted. They're not targeting us. They're probably returning to defend the queen ant. Sure enough, the ants streamed past them, as if confirming his words. Chen Mo watched the flashing sea of ants and decided quickly. Let's go over there. Before the scent on our bodies fades, we won't be in danger. Up above, Tianba was getting restless. Hey buddy, answer me. Or how about this, we cooperate. I take 70%. You take 30. Deal? The two Guqiang behind him echoed the idea. Boss wants 70-30, and that kid still refuses? Could there really be that much good stuff down there? I'd bet 8 or 9 out of 10. Otherwise, the kid wouldn't risk going alone. Fortune favors the bold. Pumped up by the baiting, he grew angrier. If we get it, you'll need to stay alive to use it. Don't think you can escape me down there. My radio has a locator. You refuse a drink, you'll get a penalty drink. No one knew Chen Mo's group were actually trapped in the midst of the ant army. Shi Yu minimized her presence as much as possible and, terrified, wondered what to do. Keep hiding forever? The two of us alone can't kill this swarm. Chen Mo immediately placed a finger to his lips to signal silence. Clearly, Tianba had lost patience and pulled out a heated weapon to play with. He used it to signal Chao Yue's team. You two, open that spot. Someone loudly objected. Why can't we just do it nearby? Why run so far? Zhang Ya shared the curiosity. Yeah, boss, what are you doing? Without a word, Tianba fired a warning shot into the air. Then he raised the volume and ordered, cut the chatter. Do as I say or I'll kill you right now. He already suspected something. If there's a queen ant, those mobile bomb-like things are likely explosive warriors. He needed to verify his guess quickly. Chao Yue's two men, scared stiff, begged, all right, we'll do it, don't kill us please. Down in the cavern, the ants were still marching in hordes. Shi Yu's hair stood on end as she looked over. This is wrong, the ants are getting more agitated. Little guy, if you have any move left, use it now. Chen Mo replied calmly. What move? I have nothing. I can only wait for reinforcements. She screamed in fear. What? Shi Yu's face went pale as she demanded. Are you crazy? You really expect that Zhang guy to come save us? Even if he can, we'll be prey by then. At that, she instinctively stamped on the ant's leg right in front of her. The ant suddenly turned a blazing red. Like blood. It began moving toward the girl. Shi Yu panicked, flailing her arms. We're done for. We've been spotted. I shouldn't have trusted him. Seeing the ant drawing closer, she reflexively shouted, Gravity. But before the skill could take effect, the ant froze. A loud explosion suddenly erupted on the cave roof, drawing the ant's attention. Chen Mo concluded with satisfaction. It's here, Shi Yu unconsciously asked. What is? Quote, he didn't explain, and only urged, quick, get inside, someone's entering the tunnel. Soldier ants above have been detonated. The two of them crawled through the narrow entrance. The shockwaves outside intensified. The nearby ants were all roasted, blackened. Then they were blown to pieces by the ensuing firestorm. The space filled with smoke and intense heat. Before long, a pillar of fire rushed straight toward where Tianba's group stood. The blast's ferocity rivaled that of a nuclear bomb. It took a long while before things began to settle, everywhere stained in a pall of gray smoke. The unlucky survivors hacked and coughed as if they had pneumonia. When Tianba came to, he swore out loud, fuck, yet he was somewhat satisfied with the result. Mess with me, I'll blow you to death. But as soon as he spoke, suspicion rose in him. What was going on? The system didn't warn. Tu Tian was the first to notice something odd and quietly mouthed. That is, Tianba's face suddenly twisted like a chrysanthemum. Holy shit. From the depths of the cave, an unfamiliar creature shot upward, knocking everyone to the ground. Its whole body shone red-hot like an artillery shell. Though blazing fiercely, it still unfurled its wings and flew off with momentum.